What's happening with SNAP benefits in your state right now? Did your EBT card get a new weekly deposit, a one-time payment, or nothing at all? Has your governor stepped in to fund emergency food assistance while the federal payments are paused? Drop your state and what you're seeing in the comments so others can get accurate updates. Because of the ongoing government shutdown, the federal SNAP program, feeding more than 42 million Americans, was set to pause at the start of November. Several governors across the country have now declared emergencies and released millions of dollars to fill the gap. Some are issuing weekly state-funded payments on EBT cards, while others are sending money to food banks or giving one-time stipends. Let's go state by state to see exactly who's covered and how the help is arriving. Delaware's governor declared a state of emergency on October 29th to protect the more than 120,000 residents who rely on SNAP each month. Under this order, the state will provide weekly payments through November, ensuring families can still buy groceries while federal dollars are frozen. The funds are state-backed and loaded directly on existing EBT cards, giving recipients a seamless bridge until federal benefits return. Officials emphasize that this emergency measure will continue only through November for now, but it can be extended if the shutdown drags on. Households should keep checking for new postings each week and watch for official messages about deposit schedules. Delaware's goal is simple. No family should miss meals because Washington gridlock froze their aid. Louisiana acted early. On October 24th, Governor Jeff Landry declared an emergency and authorized about $150 million in state funds to keep SNAP flowing for November. The program covers the elderly, people with disabilities, and families with children, but about 53,000 able-bodied adults without dependents will not receive the replacement payments. Nearly 800,000 residents rely on SNAP here, so the measure fills a huge gap. Payments will arrive weekly, roughly a quarter of each household's normal monthly amount, to help stretch limited funds. If the federal shutdown continues, Louisiana officials said they may reassess coverage. For now, most families will see regular EBT loads throughout November, and the state has encouraged those excluded to contact local food banks for assistance. In Maryland, Governor Wes Moore declared an emergency on October 30th and released $10 million to strengthen food banks and nonprofits. Rather than direct EBT deposits, this funding ensures shelves stay stocked and deliveries continue for roughly 680,000 people who depend on SNAP. The governor's office said the situation would be reviewed week by week, depending on the length of the federal shutdown. This approach channels help through local organizations instead of the payment system, meaning recipients should visit food pantries and community centers for immediate support. State leaders said their priority is to prevent hunger while waiting for Washington to act. If you're in Maryland, expect expanded food bank hours rather than extra card deposits this week. New York's governor declared an emergency on October 30th and released $65 million in new funding in addition to $41 million already committed earlier this year. That money strengthens statewide networks like food banks, pantries, and farm-to-table programs that move surplus dairy and produce to families in need. Officials estimate the funding will provide roughly 50 million meals during the federal pause. New York normally issues about $650 million in SNAP benefits each month, so these emergency funds can't fully replace that amount, but they help sustain families through community food programs. Residents should look for expanded hours at local distribution sites and mobile pantry trucks while waiting for federal EBT deposits to resume. Oregon declared a food security emergency and directed $5 million in state funds to its food bank network. The order mobilized multiple agencies to ensure emergency food reaches families quickly and to prepare systems for an immediate restart once federal SNAP funding returns. The emphasis is on coordination, avoiding gaps in distribution, and keeping logistics ready for when federal payments resume. While there are no state-issued EBT replacements here, families can expect increased access to food boxes and meal sites. Officials said Oregon's Rapid Restart Plan should allow benefits to flow faster than usual when the shutdown ends, avoiding delays many states suffered in past funding lapses. Rhode Island's governor declared an emergency on October 28th and approved up to $6 million in emergency payments for certain families with children. These payments will appear directly on EBT cards, functioning like temporary SNAP deposits to keep food on the table while federal aid is paused. The state may issue the funds in 2 waves, early and mid-November, depending on how long the shutdown lasts. Normally, 145,000 Rhode Islanders receive about $29 million in SNAP benefits each month. Families without children or who don't meet the emergency criteria should still find extra support at food bank locations statewide. This temporary measure buys time while Congress works to restore the regular federal program. Virginia launched one of the most organized replacement efforts. Governor Glenn Youngkin declared an emergency on October 23rd and created the Virginia Emergency Nutrition Assistance Program, known as VENA. Starting November 3rd, all existing SNAP recipients as of October 29th will receive weekly state-funded deposits on their usual EBT cards. The system is designed to look and feel exactly like SNAP, so families can shop without confusion. The weekly schedule allows the state to stretch its limited funds while ensuring households have food every week. Officials said benefits will be comparable in size to a normal month, but split into smaller installments. Grocery stores were briefed on recognizing the new VENA line on receipts, so there's no problem at checkout. Virginians should check their cards each week for new postings and report any issues immediately. Colorado approved $10 million in emergency money for food banks and pantries across the state. While there won't be any direct EBT replacement, these funds are helping organizations meet soaring demand as November begins. The money also ensures that programs serving mothers and infants under WIC remain stocked. Families should check with local food banks for updated hours and distribution events. If the shutdown continues, state lawmakers have said they're ready to add more funds to keep meals flowing. For now, Colorado's plan is a community-based safety net rather than a card deposit program. Connecticut's governor announced $3 million in emergency state funding, plus another $1 million from food share reserves to keep groceries moving into communities. Together, that equals roughly 6 million meals distributed over the next 2 weeks. This plan helps about 360,000 Connecticut residents who normally rely on federal SNAP benefits that total around $72 million each month. At this time, there are no direct EBT deposits from the state, only expanded food bank access. Officials are already considering larger aid options if the federal program doesn't restart soon. Residents should look out for school-based meal distributions, pop-up pantry events, and local church drives providing extra food support. Hawaii took a unique route by authorizing about $42 million in state funds to give a one-time $250 payment per person directly on EBT cards for every current SNAP recipient. For a family of 4, that's $1,000 in additional aid arriving by mid-November. The program also sends extra support to food banks and local charities. This stipend is meant to fill part of the gap until the federal SNAP system restarts. Recipients should watch their EBT transactions around November 14th for a new line labeled as state assistance. While this one-time payment won't equal a full month of federal benefits, it's a significant bridge for Hawaii families facing higher food prices and supply challenges. Several states and Washington, D.C. are still pushing the federal government to tap emergency reserves and release billions of dollars held in contingency funds. Courts have begun ordering federal agencies to act, but until those funds actually reach the states, each governor's emergency plan remains critical. If federal payments restart mid-month, states like Delaware and Virginia may end their weekly programs early, while others will scale back food bank funding. So here's the summary. Some states, like Virginia, Delaware, and parts of Louisiana, are providing weekly EBT loads. Others, such as New York, Maryland, Oregon, Colorado, and Connecticut, are reinforcing food banks instead. And a few, including Hawaii and Rhode Island, are sending one-time EBT stipends. Your experience depends entirely on where you live. Comment your state, what showed up on your card, and whether your local pantry is seeing more traffic. We'll keep tracking every new announcement so you always know where help is coming from. If you found this update helpful, please like this video, share it with others who need to know, and subscribe to Social Security Post for daily updates on SNAP, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and other benefits that keep the Americans supported. Your comments truly help others find the right information. Thanks for watching.